everybody, it's Roger with Kinsta. Today I'm joined by a plethora of friends. Oh my goodness, it's going to be ShoutFest before CloudFest. We're talking about the hackathon today, and so to kind of kick things off, I want to do a quick round robin introduction of everybody, and I'm going to just go ahead and point in my top right. So Anne, if you can go ahead and kick it off here and introduce yourself.
All right, so I'm Annemieke Bovelett, a first name no one remembers, so just call me Anne. I'm an accessibility advocate. I am into WordPress up to here, and in the WordPress crowd there is a massive group of people who love to work on accessibility and then bringing a lot of bright minds together and feeling like definitely not the smartest person in the room. Being at the hackathon is the best thing ever, to be part of that and to create something that has meaning and that will move things in the world.
Excellent, excellent. All right, handing it over to Carole. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Hi there. My name is Carole, and I am the head of CloudFest Hackathon, I think for the 5th time in a row. Yeah, I became involved with this amazing event in 2017 when I was still working with WebPros and Plask. And so I attended on their behalf, and then the next year I just took over the whole thing. So this so dear to my heart, because it allows me to combine two passions of mine. So I am also coming from the WordPress community, and CloudFest really is one of the most amazing business and B2B events I've ever attended. So this gives me the opportunity in helping to create bridges between the community and open source project and the business world. And that's what we are doing with the hackathon, because we have different actors on site that are all working together to improve the open web.
Awesome, awesome. All right, moving over to Mark, one of the partners with Grade. Hey, Mark, how are you?
How are you? I'm fine. My name is Mark. I'm CEO of Grade, and basically Anne 2 years ago nagged me for days and weeks that I have to sponsor her project at Hackathon. And now I'm a believer. We are a sponsor for the second time. Our team members are frequent participants at Hackathon, for example, Jessica Lushek. And yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you guys there.
Excellent. All right. And then Patricia, how are you?
Yes, hello, I'm Patricia from Geneva in Switzerland, speaking French. I was at the hackathon last year in the Annemiekes project, and that was wonderful for accessibility. And yeah, I'm self-employed, offering web services at Web Presence Care, and also a contributor to the WordPress project, mostly in the community team, organizing events, being a WordCamp Europe organizer, WordCamp Switzerland organizer. And my contributions are partially sponsored by ThemeIsle. I thank them a lot for their support. And yeah, being at the hackathon last year was really eye-opening, because I realized the same that for WordPress contribution, I realized how much non-coder are also really important, especially for documentation, website translation, research. I remember Annemieke last year told me, I need you for your research skills. I thought, yeah, I need to propose a project, because there are some needs, and the hackathon allows to find the people who are the tech, the devs, the coders, you know. And I have a co-lead to my project who is tech oriented and the expert on the topic, Dennis Neff. So everything is going to be great, and I discovered that amazing last year, that amazing atmosphere, and very friendly, and that's wonderful event.
Excellent, excellent. All right, and we'll get more into the projects here soon. A couple more introductions. Alan, how are you?
Hi, Roger. Thanks, I'm good. How are you? I'm Alain Schlesser. I'm a principal architect with Yoast. I co-maintain several open source projects, the most probably being WP-CLI, the command line interface to WordPress. And I'm currently here in my role as project mentor for the CloudFest Hackathon, where I support Carole in coming up with interesting projects and giving guidance to the project leads. And each year we try to find a good combination of projects that push the envelope but that also allow for the project leads and the attendees to shine, and that are a meaningful way of unlocking those corporate funds for the open source world, as Carole mentioned earlier. And so in that role as project mentor, I am responsible for one part of the projects to help them get the best outcome out of this event.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for organizing all of that. And then last but not least, Birgit with Codable, another partner. How are you, Birgit?
Thanks, Roger. Thank you. I'm doing fine, really. And yeah, this will be my fourth time attending the CloudFest Hackathon, the third time in a row, but the first time to be representing a partner, Codable. And this would be a really fun switch for me, context switch from being a long-term attendee and long-time WordPress contributor, now to be also proudly helping to finance this hackathon, and helping the open source attendees to get accommodation, and also helping to make this event sustainable financially, and even taking part of this. Yeah, and I'm so thrilled to meet everyone there again, and it is kind of like an old family gathering, and there's so great energy, and I'm really looking forward to. I'm counting the days, basically.
Big fat kudos to the sponsors.
Yay!
Absolutely. And so maybe that's a good place for us to kind of start really quickly is, Carole, when you're organizing the hackathon, how critical is the sponsor support for making this happen?
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do anything of that like without our partner sponsors. I actually call them partners in this context, but everyone knows what you're meaning when you're referring to them as sponsors. So yeah, what is maybe different from the CloudFest Hackathon, comparing it to WordCamps or contributor days in our industry, is that we are providing accommodation and catering throughout all the days for our attendees. And obviously we couldn't do that if it wasn't for the support of all our partners. So basically the concept of the hackathon is that we are bringing together the business world / the partners with the open source attendees / contributors, which means that with every partnership that we sell, those packages come with a certain amount of slots for crew members. So for example, someone that buys a top tier slot to become a partner at the CloudFest Hackathon has 6 crew members they can send to attend the event, but at the same time, they are sponsoring accommodation and catering for 6 more open source contributors. So that's basically the concept. You bring your crew, and you also, you are inviting 6 more open source attendees. So we will have like a 50-50 ratio. We are approaching to really have a 50-50 ratio. In the past, we would also see partners that would say, you know what, we have 6 slots, but it's enough for us to send 3 crew members, and then we could invite 9 instead of 6 open source attendees. But I'm really thrilled that we have very, very active partners this year that are really sending crew members that are either already involved with various open source communities, or that now intend to become more involved. And so I'm excited to see this like more of a 50-50 balance indeed this year.
Excellent, excellent. And we'll definitely dive more into that from, get Mark and Birgit's thoughts on how partnering and bringing their crew is a big part of the show. But as we kind of like paint a bigger picture of how things are going to work, Alain, can you kind of talk a little bit about the projects that we have this year in general, and we'll get in some more details later, but how did you go about choosing them, and how should people maybe approach looking at, hey, what do I want to work on?
Yeah, so the general idea with those projects is that they try to be ambitious, not in the sense of scope, but in the sense of what they try to achieve, where it's not necessarily a given that you immediately know what the solution is, or that you feel confident that you can fully complete it during the hackathon. If that is the case, then it's not ambitious enough. It should really be projects where you you want to have the opportunity to really give it your best shot because there's lots of potential there. But it wouldn't be something that just happens on its own because there's risk involved and uncertainty, and you need lots of diverse input into the project to come up with the best possible solution. So that's generally the approach that we try to take there. And then we also look at who are the partners involved and what are the current contextual issues that keep people interested or worried. So, for example, right now there's lots of discussions about AI. So we have projects around AI as a topic. There's, let's call it evergreens, which are not a recent topic, but which need to remain current, like accessibility, for example, where we constantly try to keep those be part of the event because it's just generally something we want to push and encourage. So that's how we choose those topics. And then finally, it is a result of the partners and the people that propose projects and want to lead those projects. So in the end, the best topics are not worth much if you don't have the right people behind them to champion them, to push for reaching a successful outcome.
Excellent. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You definitely want people that are going to work on things. And you talked about accessibility there, so I think that's a perfect segue to come back to Anne and talk about your project a little bit. Why, let's kind of have a little sales pitch here. Why should people be excited to work on your project? Give us.
All right. Imagine someone in your family, among your friends, maybe even your grandparents, are losing their ability to use a computer in a normal way like we are used to. So maybe they can't see less, or maybe they have to use voice control, which is probably one of the means to, navigate a computer with that people tend to forget a little bit. And imagine then they need to find medical information. It's really important in their decision making. They want to buy something that the insurance won't pay for them, but they want to pay for it themselves. And then you come onto a site and there is a beautiful infographic with all kinds of very essential information, and you cannot hear it. You cannot read it. And this is what we do. This project with accessible infographics makes it possible that even designers, because designers are very afraid of accessibility people because they think you can't make pretty things when it has to be accessible, designers could still create a beautiful infographic, and our tool will ensure that anyone can consume this information. And then it's the other thing, for example, people who are traveling from let's say from the north to the south of Germany, and they're crossing all these cities, and then we all get to see this wonderful map of Germany. Oh, it's going to stop there and stop there and stop there. But you do not get this information. And the most painful situation is when you know that this information is there, but it's not conveyable to you. So it makes people, it's not just about a technical thing of making something accessible. It's about making people make them feel welcome. And of course, there is a massive business case for this, because sites that are not accessible don't convert as well as sites that are. And then when you use infographics, which are well known to be great as conversion magnets and put information in a nice way that everybody likes, well, you're missing out on a lot of everybody there if you don't make it accessible. So this is one of the things we do. And what I love about the project this time is that we're going to set it up in such a way that it's not just people from the WordPress community that can learn and profit from this project. It's going to be set up in such a way that any other open source system can actually read how we describe it and then implement it in their own systems.
Excellent. Very exciting. Very exciting. The accessibility thing is one that I was in the fearful camp of for a while there, and now it's like I understand. There's no need to be afraid of it. And it just helps everybody. And by focusing on accessibility first, everything else kind of falls into place from a optimization and performance perspective. So very exciting to hear about that. All right. So moving over to Patricia. Let's hear about your project a little bit and kind of hear your pitch.
Yes, basically to pitch after Annemieke is a challenge. So that was so beautifully explained. I would have loved to join your project actually if I was not a lead and another one, but I will tell you more about it later. So yes, my initial idea is that I hate locked in. So I think it's very important when you own your data that you can move freely from one system to another, for WordPress from one page builder to another, but also from WordPress to another CMS or from two, So I pitched the idea to the hackathon crew, and Lucas, who is working with Alain and Carole, helped me refine, and we decided that I needed a tech co-lead that someone who knows what I'm talking about, because I know the needs. So basically we are going to work like over the data liberation stuff. So it means to help create tools that help to migrate in any direction you want, and to be sure that you own your data. And offering web services, I know the need that sometimes you have to do things manually. Sometimes it's not easy, and sometimes the data is okay, but not the design and templating, And because different systems use different structure, data structure, so that's on what we are going to work. And as well, we'll use AI, large language models, to integrate into that tools, and that will help like hosting companies or agency offering website services, or even like individual people who are a little bit keen to try themselves. So yeah, no lock-in, and that's why there is freedom in the name of the project,
Wonderful. Yeah, no, being able to move your data, and that's always been one of the big selling pitches that I've used about WordPress is, hey, you own the data, but there are still hiccups when you're trying to even move from, one theme to another, or, God forbid you want to leave WordPress and go somewhere else. I hear it happens, but, making that easy because you actually own the data really does seem important. So that's great. We've heard two of the projects. I know that there's more out there for this hackathon. But kind of switching gears a little bit, Mark, I'd love to get your thoughts as a partner and also as someone who's going to have team members as part of the hackathon. How do you see like immediate benefit from these projects, or do you see it more as like an educational opportunity for your team members?
I mean, there's a variety of reasons to sponsor or go to a hackathon. First of all, we have to contribute to open source, obviously. Yeah, that's our business, and so it's not just about giving back. It's an investment, and we have to do that. And a hackathon is a perfect possibility to contribute. Furthermore, it's a reward. I really see it as a reward because people like Jessica Lischik, for example, she's contributing to the community, to WordPress, etc. Sending her to events like hackathon, that is also a reward for my team members. So that is basically directly coming back because they like that. And for me as a business leader, it's about presenting the brand to the developers, not just to our customers, but the developers, because the weekend is very important for me, for example, to recruit, to talk to all those people. Yeah, it's also important for networking because all the interesting people are there. And as I'm not taking part in all those projects, I have enough time for discussions, etc. So besides those really interesting projects and those Mario Kart competitions, there are lots of possibilities to have, talks in the lounge, and that's important for me too. It's nice to hang out. It's really a fun weekend, and sometimes you need that. It's a team weekend, but with the big community team, with all of you guys. And in the end, you shouldn't forget about the roller coasters. We all like the roller coasters. 2 years ago, I have to mention that I'm not from open source community, so that sponsoring events like that was totally new for me. And last year when I entered that, I was like, yeah, okay. And I couldn't see the impact, but now I see that, and it was a no-brainer to sponsor Hackathon again. Last but not least, I have to say that the management is absolutely professional. It's great to work with Carole, I have to say that, yeah. She's the nicest and most professional person in that business, she is, yeah. And so it was a no-brainer. We are looking forward to that, and we are bringing parts of our best people there, yeah. They are absolutely free to decide which project they want to join or what they want to do. Yeah, the weekend is totally for them. Yeah, because later on we also sponsor CloudFest, and then they have to work. Yeah.
Well,
I love
I'm so glad that you came last year because, folks, really, he's joking about it, but I drove him crazy. I kept nagging. It was brutal, you know.
Thanks for doing that.
Can I add something to that? You mentioned the Mario Kart competition. That's, I think, a tradition of the hackathon. Last year was my first time, and I said, okay, I try, but it was a shame. I will not try this year. Don't worry. Maybe you all remember what happened to me. Anyway, and also thank you so much, Mark and Birgit, to be partners. And we are looking forward to welcome your crew in our teams. And I just wanted to add about my project. We are for sure hoping that people from other CMSs than WordPress are joining, because if we want to create the tools to migrate from either WordPress or another, but to another system, we need them. We need the people who know the data structure and how the templating works. So it was important to mention, because we are all from. I know all of you from WordPress, actually. So it's important to mention that we need people from Typo 3, we need people from Drupal, Joomla and other systems.
Absolutely. The more the merrier, right? Getting different perspectives and just bringing everyone together is always a good thing.
I have one question. Yes, a pressing one. Are we still having the roller coaster pitch, Carole?
At CloudFest, you mean?
Yeah.
I think this is still happening. Yeah. I mean, I would have to double check for you, but I have a feeling this is still happening. It has been such a massive success over the last years. I would be really surprised if it wouldn't happen.
Cool.
Just to fill in for someone who's a total noob to the CloudFest this year, what is the roller coaster pitch?
You're gonna love it. I mean, I really hope that I am not like creating the bots and it's not happening. Okay. But at least for the past 2 editions, so there was the opportunity for startups or companies that would need additional investment to do the so-called roller coaster pitch. And it's basically you get what you hear. So there's one of the, I think it's the fastest roller coaster, at least in Germany, if not in Europe. It's called the Silver Star. And then the moment when it, like before it goes down, so when it goes up, you have like 1 minute to actually pitch why anyone would want to invest in your company or in your business. And then it's going downwards like really fast. And obviously the camera is still on you. So you would see people that are doing a really good job, like really keeping it together and then like losing it when it goes down. But you would also see people that would be like, okay, I'm trying to be like super professional here now, but you can see the fear in their face, like just before it goes down. It's just hilarious. Like, I love that. Like, I really hope it's going to happen again.
Yeah,
all right.
me
Well,
too.
if it's not officially happening, then we'll have to do an impromptu one because this sounds brilliant.
Let's make a deal. We're going to do that. So in case it's not going to be an official part of the event, we can make a cameo or something. So the 7 of us, we are going to do that.
Absolutely. I'm in.
And then like having the camera and trying to keep it together.
Absolutely. So, all right. So, I want to jump back over to Birgit. So, as someone who has attended as a participant in the past, how do you think it's going to change for you this year as being a partner participant? And what advice do you have for people who maybe it's their first time coming to the hackathon, how to get the most out of it?
Well, that's a really good question. I'm still thinking about how this role change for me will affect my appearance and my time commitment. I like to attend to several projects and have an eye on it. But on the other hand, I feel there's more obligation to be more on the networking part. Like Mark said, by hanging in the lounge, having the hallway chats and creating connections and fostering also relationships. Since Codable has several Codable experts attending to the CloudFest Hackathon as well. So that is like a kind of mini gathering of these experts, and so that they gain more interest or more skill sets or working on this open source project, and that is what we like to encourage as well. What I like to emphasize is for first-time attendees, it's just be open-minded because there's so many different professions, and Carole and Alain and Lucas and everyone involved in the organization, they take so much care about being inclusive and have a diverse variety of skill sets and where people are coming from. Not only from the region, but also from the diversity within the skill sets and professions, which brings a unique combination I never have seen before. And it is definitely different to what you expect on a WordCamp contributor day, because there's a variety of different open source systems where there's an interchange, an exchange between the professions. And I love to see when WordPress folks are working together with Joomla or Drupal Type 3 folks and getting connections and cross open source system wide projects so that it is adaptable and transferable, so that it's not a closed system. Like Patricia said, you can't export your data and port it over to whatever it might be. So to work on this, and that is what is really driving me, and the event itself. I think there's a so welcoming atmosphere. Someone who might be hesitant to attend a hackathon, which sounds like techie, and there's only nerds around. But I can assure you, this is not the case with the CloudFest Hackathon, because there's everyone there. Yeah, and
another thing, right? It's not just boys, folks. It's not just boys. There are a lot of others, women. I could do the whole list of genders, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and we were working hard for that, and it is really dear to my heart as well. That that not everyone looks the same when entering a room at a tech event.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. Also, last year that blew me away. We had the folks coming that are getting the prize money. Maybe I'm talking ahead. This is more your thing, but to see these developers from Africa coming over and see how much they learn and how much they already do and how much they spread the word. It's just. This is growth, people. This is really doing something, not just blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I was going to mention the people who came from Uganda, 2 ladies from Uganda, from
Groundbreaker Talent.
Yeah, that was amazing. Actually, I was in the Blue Fire with one of them.
Oh, cool,
because the Blue Fire is wonderful.
So we will have that again to maybe explain a little bit to Roger and the audience. So we do have a friendly competition within the hackathons. So we are creating these award categories that you can ace within your teams, and like, for example, a social media master award, a dream team award, and so on. And the overall winner. So we have 5 categories plus the overall winner, which, by the way, is going to be sponsored by some of our partner representatives that we have on this call. So thank you, Kinsta, Codable, and Great, for sponsoring some of these award categories. And all the money that I am taking from you out of your pockets is directly going to the Groundbreaker Talents initiative, which is, so we are funding a scholarship for one female IT student in Uganda to go through their boot camp for 9 months to a year, depending on what they are being trained for. And those are women that do already have technical skills and have already some education in software development. And they are preparing those women to really develop the skills to be ready to go out to the job market. And this starts from learning some additional skills and ends with like really helping them finding a job, training them to do interviews, and even placing them with some of their partners. And what we do each year is we are inviting the scholar that we funded in the previous year to the next edition. So this year we are gonna to meet Mabel Bobby Musimenta, who is going to attend the hackathon and be with us for the 3 full days. And help us work on our projects. And she's the recipient of what all the amazing attendees achieved in 2024 and the partners who sponsored the last year's awards.
That's cool.
Wonderful. Yeah, last year it was amazing to meet Esther and Vanessa from the program. Yeah, I would like to add something because Roger, you asked what advice we would give to a first-time attendee. I would say that look at the project before the hackathon on the website and look what is the most interesting for you, but keep an open-minded and the possibility to change your mind when the lead are presenting the project on the first day in the morning. But at least you have an idea, what this will all be about, and maybe do some research before, and but keep an open mind anyway. And by the way, if I was not the lead of a project, I would have loved to join either Annemiek's project on accessibility again, like last year, or there is another one that is wonderful, is the federated events.
Yeah, so, federated community events. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is my love topic as well. I will go to say hello and to the table to see what happened there.
You can maybe do like Milana. Like last year, it's one of our attendees, and some of the audience also may know her. So last year she said she was participating in 2 projects, and this year her plan is to participate in all 10. So she just needs to. You just need the event to go for 2 more weeks. So that was her suggestion. That maybe we'll have a hackathon for two weeks. Like,
good idea.
Let's think of it.
She has to bring a lot of cookies, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes. Now, the audience is probably getting totally confused, and so will Roger. So just for subtitling, Milana has 2 things that everybody knows her for. First of all, it's one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. When she speaks, you become hypnotized. And in the biggest stress, she is that peaceful melody. And second of all, when there are contributor days, she comes in. Well, contributor days have different tables, right? Different projects. I have to explain that. And she always comes in carrying at least 1, usually 2 huge bags of cookies and candy. And then says, well, if you want a cookie, you have to join my table. And I don't know why, but it works.
Yeah, the documentation.
Yeah, we know why, but I like to be
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, we've spent a lot of time here. We've talked a lot about, this year's hackathon and how people should be getting enthusiastic. I think going to the website, take a look at all of the projects that are there. There's wonderful descriptions of everything. If people want to start talking about the projects, is there a place, Carole, for them to go to start talking about it ahead of time, or is that forbidden?
Like, I'm not sure I understand the question. Like, if someone's interested who is attending already the hackathon and wants to become involved before, we do have a communication platform that is exclusive for hackathon attendees and partners and the organizing team, and we have chosen to have all that happen on the Mattermost platform. So all attendees and partners got invitations to join us on the Mattermost platform. So in case any of you here hasn't joined yet, please do, because all these different projects have their individual channels where you can connect directly with the project leads, where you can connect with other interested attendees and ask additional questions. So that's one thing. Okay. And the other thing is that we are in the process of uploading videos from, so each project lead or project lead team will conduct an interview with either one of our media partners, Carole Media or Mark Szymanski. And so these interviews are going to be published on the individual project web pages, and you can find everything on hackathon.cloudfest.com. And then you can already have a look into those videos to have a better idea of what project you might be interested in, and so you don't have to decide only when you are on site, because we are the project is a very tough mission. They only have 2 minutes to pitch.
Yeah.
So this is really tough for them.
But
and
the project videos last year.
And the project videos, they are a good chance for our project leads to have a little more exposure and explain a little bit more about what they're trying to achieve and what audience and what skills they will need on the table.
Yeah, and I would really want to thank you all in the organization for doing that, because this also shows people that this really is about professionalism and a professional event. Because many people think, yeah, these open source heinies, they are just making fun for a week and drinking too much beer, but it really has to go somewhere. So having this professional presentation and having Christian Taylor or Mark Szymanski, I mean, have you ever seen that guy speak on YouTube? He is great. I just love this sparkle and this I mean, unfiltered. I don't know if that's a good expression. I think Americans understand something else by unfiltered, but he's speaking his mind, and this is good because now he's being asked by several projects to speak his mind to them and to do that. And I know Mark did a courageous thing, but we will tell you about that at the CloudFest with Mark Szymanski. He's and Christian. Oh my.
Yeah, they're so great. We're so lucky to have them aboard. That's also something that we started doing last year when we were officially welcoming media partners. And what I'm really trying to achieve, and that's also why I'm grateful for this opportunity here to be on a podcast with all of you. I think that there is still room for improvement for all of us to share what we are actually achieving during the event for those individual projects. And that is so important to make sure that the word is going to be spread about, the projects and where they led to and what that could mean for end users of the CMS, but also for contributors and also for businesses. And then maybe also continuing to support those initiatives by either, offering human hours, like having their folks continue to contribute on these projects, or maybe by supporting them financially. Yeah, that would be a dream.
Yeah, and maybe then when this grows next year, we would see a round of what happened to last year's projects, and then get the ones that would be absolutely amazing. And it would also be very rewarding, I think, to the people, the partners and the sponsors, to see that it's also not just one shot in the dark, that it counts for the community in general.
Yeah, I would definitely love that. And the more we are adding to this event and to this initiative, and the more people we are involving, the higher the chances become to actually make that happen. And it's really exciting. Like, I have seen this event grow so much, not necessarily in size, but in what it really became. And I'm really excited to be aboard to see where we can eventually take it in terms of having an impact and spreading the word about it.
Yeah, and speaking of impact, I think one important aspect is also this skill set improvement of each attendee. And also it can be a career elevator. When you're participating in an event like this, first of all, you have the opportunity to connect with partners. Maybe there are job opportunities arising you didn't have thought about in a previous place, or the partner didn't thought about this, or this is something also for self-improvement in skill set and also opening your own comfort zone. And extending your comfort zone. This is for personal improvement, but also for professional improvement. And as Anne said, it is really this professionalism paired with an awesome community and respectful community. That is what I also like to emphasize. And thanks to Carole's spirit on this, it is really a welcoming event where everyone feels safe. And that is really important also for those who might feel more introverted. Everyone has their space. We have certain attendee profiles who might be more extroverted, and there's still room for activities in more quieter spaces where you can gather your ideas, etc. And it is also for social connection. Speaking of, after a long period of a pandemic where everyone was isolated at home, and coming together in such a great like-minded community, you have also this social bonding and getting the real-time interaction, which feels more connecting. And that is definitely something I really looking forward to see how this involves again, thanks from my heart on this. And Carole brought me to this CloudFest several years ago. And I'm a big fangirl on this. So, yeah, and I'm happy that I'm in a position now to support this event even more.
I'd like to double down on that. As an entrepreneur and representing a sponsor or a company, if you are a developer or whoever at that event and you're looking for career elevation or a next step or whatsoever, be brave. I mean, you have 2 or 3 days with CEOs, CTOs of different companies. That's not possible at a WordCamp because too much people around, and writing emails is also sometimes a pain in the ass. So use that, talk to those people. I mean, last year, 2 or 3 different people just contacted me. Hey, I'm so-and-so. I've been on your website and I talked to your colleague an hour ago. Can we talk? And we did that. So please do that. And that's totally normal, and use those 2 days and just confront people. Yeah, there are always possibilities. And don't just look on websites if this or that company is looking for someone. And all those people at Hackathon are immensely talented. And if you are there, you are one of them. So basically everybody's looking for you, so contact the companies.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. All right, I want to wrap things up here, but I want to go round robin. We're going to go reverse from the starting order, and I want everybody to talk about a project that they're really interested in. If it's your project, that's fair. And then what is the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to contact you? So we're going to start backwards. So Birgit, you are up first.
Oh, so this is really hard. I want to attend to every project, so it's hard to me to choose from. And I will make my rub around, definitely. And please bear with. What was your second part of your question?
If people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So I'm omnipresent on social media with my personal handle, Coach Birgit, but you can reach me on Codable.io, support at Codable.io. You can get in touch with me as well. I'm also on WordPress, Making WordPress Slack, so you can find me everywhere online.
Wonderful, wonderful. Alain, you're up.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm really looking forward to the AI-specific projects and how they will evolve, because this is an area of great uncertainty, and the types of projects we're looking into try to hopefully stand the test of time. So that's something that I'm really looking into. And there's one in particular that is about connecting WP-CLI to LLMs and use WordPress as a context provider. So I'm really looking forward to that, because it will also be of use in the open source project that I'm maintaining.
Yeah, I was saying you're biased.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I had nothing to do with how the project came about. Nothing to do at all. I can usually be reached by the same handle on most social media platforms, which is Schlesser A, and on Blue Sky it's schlessera.dev, because it always includes a TLD. I'm also under the same handle in all the usual industry Slacks, like the WordPress.org one or Post Status for people from the WordPress community.
Wonderful. Patricia.
Yeah, as I said before, there are several projects. I mean, if I could, I would attend them all, but because I lead one, I will say about mine, that could help in many, and it actually can be an umbrella, can we say that, for different of other projects could actually be related to migration as well. Where you can find me, my personal blog is patriciabt.com. Sorry, I said in French. And I use the same as a handle on Blue Sky, patriciabt.com, and on LinkedIn, Patricia Brun-Torre. I think as soon as you look for Patricia with a lot of mutual connection, it's me.
Excellent, excellent. Mark, how about you?
I mean, obviously, I'm always on Team Annemieke. But more than that, when we relaunched our website, I think 2 years ago, we really had problems with accessibility of animations and infographics, and people told me that you can't use them. I can't accept that, so I'm really looking forward on solutions that you guys find out. And If you want to contact me, you could do that through LinkedIn. I don't do that Twitter, X stuff, etc. No time for that, but just contact one of my team members. They are almost all nice people, and they will set you in contact with me.
Wonderful. Carole, who are you choosing?
So I can't choose one project because what really gets my excitement are all projects that are enabling cross CMS collaboration. So I am really excited when I see like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, Typo 3 folks sitting together and like trying to learn from maybe their pitfalls or helping each other to improve the open web as a whole. So that's what really gets my excitement. So I see CMS Freedom, CMS Health Checks. There's the federated community events also. I think your project as well, Annemieke, is not only WordPress centric, right?
No.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of them, and I'm really, really, really proud that we manage to get more and more projects that are empowering those cross CMS collaborations on the schedule. So yeah, those are always, they will always have my deepest support. And yeah, you can find me basically, on most of the social media platforms under my real name, which is Carole Olinger, like LinkedIn, like X, like Facebook, and also on the post status Slack for the WordPress community, and carole@cloudfest.com.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And last but certainly not least, Anne.
Wow, I got all the time ever to speak about my project. I'm in a bit of the same corner as Carole. It's really hard to find a favorite project, but of course I am Mrs. Accessibility. And so I'm also very excited about the AI project that is going to happen for accessibility from Nemanja. There is a lot of restraint from people to become excited about accessibility and AI, because accessibility is a lot about human testing. But I strongly believe that things can improve, and the fact that they have the guts to pick up on that project. I'll honestly say, if I had known that he was going to do that before I started pitching in my project, I may not have had pitched my project. I would have joined theirs. So, yeah. And the second question you asked me, how are people going to find me? Well, my name is impossible to spell. So I'll give you another name to find me by. Although I'm not employed by them, they've been the biggest motivator for me ever in the past couple of years. They have helped me push accessibility forward, and they're here in the form of Mark. I'm happy that they're a partner for CloudFest. So, folks, remember this name, and then when you type that name together with Anne, no, he didn't pay for that.
Not yet.
Yeah, we'll have to, I guess.
No, honestly, I know. This is how do you say fresh? No, but really, just type that name and type Anne,
Okay.
and you'll find me all over the place.
All right, so great, Anne, for the people listening. Excellent. All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining ShoutFest for CloudFest and the hackathon. I'm really excited to see you all there. I will probably not be there. I'm sorry. I'll be there for the last day. But, hey, wedding anniversary trip, right? There's some precedence.
Okay.
But everybody else is going to have a great time there. I'm really excited to see how the projects come out. And thank you all so much for spending time with me, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thank you, too.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Have a good time.
Thank you.
Bye.